Hi there and welcome to our GTV preview show for the race meeting at the Vaal Classic Track, right-hand turn, 8 races, Thursday the 24th of July. As you know by now, we record early doors the day before, so as I'm speaking to you, as we're recording it, it was Wednesday the 23rd of July, but the race meeting gets underway at 11:50 with 8 races programmed Thursday the 24th of July. And as always, for race meetings on the Highveld, we welcome on board Alistair Cohen. Alistair, how are you doing?
Yep, good day, Graham. Doing very well, thanks. Enjoyed the racing on Tuesday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Looking forward to the rest of the season. We are just a week up from the end, but Sundays really is the day. I would recommend all punters and all racing fans just to sort of be aware of the weather forecast, but come and join us at Hollywoodbets Greyville. For me, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable season through all 4 corners of the country, and I think it's a wonderful way to say farewell to the 2024-25 season. A few Equus Awards, I'd imagine, are very well sealed, but some are all to play for, and also not forgetting we've got the World Pools commingling with us on Sunday, as has become the norm over the last few years, so we should see some big numbers locked in those pools. And as for this card on the Thursday, take note of the extremely early start, and therefore on the 8-race card, the extremely early finish. Hopefully we can get through it, because I must be honest, I've seen more appealing cards. This is normally the time of year that I like to make a little bit of money, but we're going to need to get a little bit lucky, but hopefully luck's on our side here.
Yep, we're all looking forward to Super Sunday this Sunday, the 27th of July. But in the meantime, let's focus on this 8-race program at the Vaal. We kick off with the maiden handicap. Alistair did put out there that this is a modest race meeting with limited quality horses running, but there's money to be made. And in the first race, we have 1 scratching, number 7, Dragon Heart. Number 6, Superior, will race with the tongue tie. Number 8, Solamente, to race without the tongue tie. Gavin Larena comes into this meeting. Of course, he will have ridden at Hollywoodbets Scottsville before this meeting gets underway, but at the time of recording with a 12-win lead over Richard Fourie. He rides number 1, Trail Runner, in the first, which is 16-10. Number 2, Fire Starter, firm market rival at 17-10. Number 3, Empress Wu at 33-10. And number 4, Shimmering, 9-2. It's a maiden handicap to get proceedings underway. Alistair, we've got a couple of 2-year-olds in the race, which is interesting. So they obviously have had the unofficial ratings applied to the handicap here. Trail Runner, Fire Starter, is it a match in 2, or does Empress Wu have some claims along with number 4, Shimmering?
So my read on the fillies, let's start with the 3-year-old fillies, Graham. Trail Runner and Empress Wu. Funny enough, they've met each other once, and there was 2.5 lengths between them in favour of Trail Runner when they met on very similar terms. In fact, Empress Wu's half a kilo worse off for a run on the 17th of April. I've always maintained that Empress Wu's best chance of getting out the maidens would be over 1,000. I think a 12 just stretches her a little bit. So I think Trail Runner will hold the advantage over number 3, Empress Wu. But the 2-year-olds, I think, are quite interesting here, Graham. Number 2, Firestarter, first run as a gelding. 2 runs back, he ran 5.5 lengths behind Chronicle King, who's obviously a Grade 2 winner and aims for a Grade 1 on Sunday. And second in that race was a horse trained by Olsen and Zalana, and the former Golden Warrior, who's won 2 races by steeplechase margins in the interim. If geldings brought him along at all in a race as shallow as this, from what is a very strong form line last time out, he could be the one to side with from the Mike at Matthew de Cockyard. And I don't think number 4, Shimmering's got her legs tied up. I expected more from her last time. I thought she'd finish a little bit closer. And she's got the advantage to draw 1 on the Vaal Classic over 1,200 metres, so that's going to help her cause. I'm going to gravitate towards the 2-year-olds in this race in order of preference, 2, 4, and 1. I think that's the list of winners in the opening leg of the bar pot. You probably won't need all 3 in the bar pot. 2 of them should suffice. When you look lower down the page, although they've got low weights, they've got low weights for a reason. Numbers 5, 6, 7 scratch and 8. They've got a lot to find if they are to topple the top 4 in the market. But I'm not convinced that it's as widespread as needing all 4 in your first leg of the bar pot.
So there we go, looking to the progressive and recently gelded number 2, Fire Starter. The market is going to be interesting as we approach race time. We might well see number 2, Fire Starter, start favourite, but of course the legion of Gavin Larena supporters will be hoping that number 1, Trail Runner, can get home. The second race, which is the first leg of the Place Accumulator, the first, of course, as Alistair mentioned, there was the first leg of the Bipot. First leg of the Place Accumulator, another maiden handicap. It's over 1,600 metres. It's off at 12.22. Interesting card change. Number 1, Johnny Drama, who ran second just the other day, races without the blinkers. He was... he wore blinkers for many of his starts, but last time out when showing improvement didn't wear the blinkers, so the blinkers come off. Races as carded last time. That's the only change. The betting has number 1 Johnny Drama at the top of the boards at around 18-10. Number 3 Gift of Royal 8-1. 4 Codeword 5-1. The market rival 2 number 1 Johnny Drama is number 5 Trip to States, again to be ridden by Gavin Larena. That's at around 22-10, and number 6 Winchester's at 3-1. So here we go. This is the first leg of the place accumulator. Johnny Drama. Certainly a nice run last time out, behind Safe Travel, but well beaten. The blinkers come off. Is he potentially, Alistair, place accumulator banker, or are we going to duck for cover here?
I think as far as the place accumulator is concerned, Graham, Johnny Drama should suffice. But is he past the post? The answer is no. Funny enough, number 5, Trip to States, has met him once before. You can make the argument that when they met, Johnny Drama was coming off a 2-month break. First run in Joburg. May have slightly needed it behind Got the Feeling, who of course won at Turfentine just a week earlier. And I thought his last run was fair. But Trip to States has got him held on that run to Got the Feeling. Plus, I know well beaten last time, but Gavin Larena sticks with number 5 Trip to States. He's a well and truly exposed maiden, this of course being a handicap, about 56 kilos. But Gavin sticks with the son of the United States, having his 25th spin in the maiden. So I reckon that there's a little bit to work with here with number 5 Trip to States. And purely on the mathematics and on paper, he should hold sway over number 1 Johnny Drama, who added to that also has question marks over the trip. Looks like he's ready to win over that 1400 meter range, particularly over 1200 meters, with some solid runs in the Western Cape. But every time he stretched to a mile plus, he just drops the bundle. But from draw 1 with the blinkers off on the back of a good run, I'm not prepared to write off his chances. But I'm not prepared to take the price of him being at the top of the boards. So I'm going to lean towards number 5 Trip to States as the winner. But I think there are a few lurking around that could be quite interesting. Number 3 Gift of Royal is also well and truly exposed. I think overall he's a bit of a battler, but I think that he'll be somewhere in and around the money. Difficult to motivate him as a winning chance. What on earth happened with Codeword last time? Where did that improvement come from? She was snared a short head on the day of the BSA KZN yearling sales by a head by Curtis Condor. I can tell you for free that the third horse is not too shabby either. But the lightweight, the very, very lightweight, obviously propelled her to some sort of improvement, and also the added headgear. So I'm not prepared to write off her chances, although I'd like to see her confirm that run. And I think number 6 Winchester, although the form behind Copper Eagle, all those horses in and around, the likes of Sergeant Socrat, who ran a dismal race during the week, there has been a direct winner from the form. It was a very weak maiden, but Copper Eagle later on in the card has been punted to the exclusion of the rest of the field. So I think there's a little bit of weighing up to do with number 6 Winchester and how he will fit in a race of this nature. Overall, I think it's a bit trappy. I think number 1 Johnny Drama represents the horse that's, I wouldn't say a sure thing to run into the top 3, but most likely to run into the top 3. But I think he will face a bit of trouble from number 5 Trip to States and possibly number 6 Winchester.
So there you go. Perhaps wise to go a little wider in the opening leg of the place accumulator. Certainly the backbone of your permutations could be numbers 1 Johnny Drama and 5 Trip to States, who has strong claims. Race 3, first leg of the pick 6. MR74 handicap, 1600 meters off at 12.54. There are no card changes at this early stage to report. Number 1, Unsold Riddle, who is a winner of his last start on the 19th of July. That's at 4-1. Number 2, War Reporter, is at 4-1. Number 3, Laughing William at 15-4. And number 7, Copper Eagle, who won on debut, as you heard there from Alistair, beating Sergeant Socrat, who disappointed at its next outing. That's at 5-2, stepping into handicap debut for his second racetrack appearance. And number 8, Tommy Shelby at 13-2. Take us through, Alistair, take us through the opening leg of the pick 6.
I think the first thing to mention is number 1, Unsold Riddle. Let's talk about the rider first. News obviously breaking at the start of the week that Striker will not be renewing his license for next season. I know that you've called many of his wins, as I have. What a treat it's been to follow the career of Piers Stradham, all the great stories of overseas, all the great stories of on our own shores. We'll miss him. We knew the day was coming. I wasn't blown away with the news that Striker was retiring. I was hoping that he'd go a little bit longer, but the point is, enjoy the last week while we can. It's been a real treat to see Striker do what he does, and I thought his ride on Unsolved Riddle on Saturday was out the top draw as well. It was almost as if he knew to just don't win but too far. Look after this horse's rating so we can potentially have another go on Thursday. He's a runner at the time of recording. He carries 62 kilos. He's got draw 1, and he's a fit horse, and he's a horse in winning form. So he's a player's number 1 Unsolved Riddle. 2 War Reporter, I think overall been a bit of a letdown. I think he's under-delivered a little bit, but his last run was good behind Rosie Lemon. For me, his penultimate run, when beaten 3 lengths by Aladdin's Lamp, is probably the best run that he's put together of late, because Aladdin's Lamp has won and won again, especially that good win on Saturday over 1.5 miles. So War Reporter, although I think he's probably going to come into his own over a little bit further, is a hard horse to write off from a top 3 perspective. Number 3, Laughing William, impossible horse to read. Gavin Larena was quick to phone for the ride. It wasn't stable money last time. That was due to deductions of a fancied horse coming out, but it was an excellent effort. Nearly beat Chieftain Shield. But the most interesting horse on the ratio, Graham, is number 7, Copper Eagle. Interestingly enough, the winner from the direct winner from that form line was number 8, Tommy Shelby, who he reopposes. And to be fair, Tommy Shelby's got no right to turn that form around. Copper Eagle came from the back of the field from a deep draw. He went past, dare I say, average horses with ease. But all he could do was win, and he won in the style of a horse who could be seriously progressive. The old cliches of there's more to beat, all these grizzled, hard-knocking veterans, etc., etc. I understand that, I hear that, I acknowledge that, and there could be reasons why he gets turned over. But there was a ton to like about him first time. This time he's got a better draw. He'll be wiser, better educated. He ran like he'll appreciate this distance, and if he's got just a fair degree of ability, doesn't need to be a superstar, but just a fair degree of ability, which I'm led to believe he does, he could be the one that they all need to beat. So I'll be willing to put him at the top of my pile, but he will have a couple of vulnerabilities for the reasons just mentioned. So 1, 2, and 3 do come into the races back up, but I'm very keen to see how number 7 Copper Eagle goes. If he were to come through this, he'd be added to, I must be honest, at this stage of the game, not the longest list of 2-year-olds to watch next season. I'm probably going to be quite a few that are hanging around in the barns that we haven't seen yet, but he will be added to that list of 2-year-olds to keep a close eye on around the country next season when they turn 3.
So there we go, Copper Eagle, the one to beat in the 3rd race, first leg of the pick 6 race. 4, first leg of Jackpot 1, which is Alistair's bet of choice for this meeting. The off time is 13:26. It's a fillies and mares 92 handicap over 1,000 metres. Firm favourite is number 1 Cosmic Queen. Gavin Larena teaming up with Johan Janssen van Vuren. That's at 14-10. Number 2 Bosom Buddies at 5-1. 4 Stars and Bras 8-1. 8 Kia Kaha is at 5-2. And number 8 Global Thunder at 6-1. No card changes to report at this early stage of recording. Cosmic Queen, a short-priced favourite to win the opening leg of Jackpot 1, Alistair, but I note, as we'll go through later on in the show, that you've ducked for a bit of cover.
I have, Graham. I don't think the card lends itself to being too confident with anything, and I'm surprised that Cosmic Queen is the price that she is. She's got an undeniable winning chance. She's got who I think is still the champion jockey elect on board and a banging form yard. But Cosmic Queen and Kia Kaha have met each other 3 times, and it's 2-1 to Kia Kaha. On the 28th of January, Kia Kaha finished in front of Cosmic Queen, but let's call it a length. She comes in here about 2.5 kilos better off. So that form should not reverse. Plus it was over this course and distance. They met again on the 11th of May, where Cosmic Queen finished in front of Kia Kaha. When Whistle the Tune ran second, Whistle the Tune runs in a grade 1 on Sunday. On that run, Cosmic Queen should hold sway over Kia Kaha. But then they met again on the 26th of June, the most recent time that they met and ran. And Kia Kaha finished, let's call it 3 parts of a length in front of Cosmic Queen. And they meet on identical terms. So if you like Cosmic Queen, you got to like Kia Kaha. I think she's a live chance, this Azzy runner, this daughter of Vaal. Although she hasn't won in a while, she's overall flattered to deceive. She's a live chance, and I think the market's very flattering in her favour. I don't make it a boat race, though. I've got 2 other horses as backup. Number 2, Bosom Buddy, ignoring the last run, has valid claims in a race like this. Runs to Buffalo Storm. Cody also runs in a grade 1 on Sunday, Mia Moo, etc., etc. She's kept very good company as bosom buddy. She drifted like she had the plague last time. I'd like to put down any amount of excuses for that. The run may have come too soon, travelling up and down again. Also first run, the poly, etc., etc. Could have been any amount of reasons for a flat last run behind This Is What It Means, who hasn't looked back. And number 8, Global Thunder. Funny enough, Raheel put me into this horse at the penultimate start and just sort of said, keep an eye on the show, keep an eye on this daughter of Global View. And she ran a disappointing race behind 2020 Vision, but simply on Raheel's recommendation. I backed her up last time on the show, and she duly arrives. So she's in the credit. Number 8, Global Thunder, got a nice light galloping weight. That might aid her chances, but I've thrown her in more out of sentiment than expectations. 5 the value, 1 and 2 the backup, and 8 thrown in because she did me a favour.
Race 5 on the card, first leg of Jackpot 2, MR71 handicap, 1200 metres, off at 14.05. Here we have an important scratching, two scratchings, numbers 3 Alone Time and number 7 Circus Light, so the field is reduced to 8. We also have number 5 Heirloom Sporting Blinkers for the first time in her career. Number 6 Edge of Tomorrow, the blinkers come off. And number 9 Stroke of Mercy will race without the cheek pieces. Number 1 Peregrine Falcon is your 16-10 favourite. Number 2 Sail the Sky 13-2. Number 4 Falcon Strike is at 5-2. Number 8 Parlor Millions is at 15-4. So that's the anti-post betting at the time of recording the show. Again, a very short price favourite here. Number 1 Peregrine Falcon, but is drawn in gate number 3 on the Vaal Classic track. Is that in his favour, or is that a factor against him?
No, that's going to be in his favour, Graham, with number 1 Peregrine Falcon. Look, this is my read in the race. I had Alone Time in. I'm keeping number 3 Alone Time in my perm, which you're going to see at the back, because I want the favourite running for me, which, as you mentioned, is likely to be Peregrine Falcon. Whereas his first run in a handicap, first run from Durban, his runs in Durban are fair. He could be well treated. He could be anything off the 71. So if he starts favourite, I'll be comfortable with the fact that I've got the scratching in number 3 Alone Time and using that to my advantage. The horses that I had along with Alone Time initially are numbers 4 and 8. Falcon Strike won, I think, easier than the margin suggested last time. The play was towards the outside on that day down the Vaal Straight. They had drawn 19 out of 19, but he never looked in doubt. He came alive on that occasion in good style. Funny enough, Parlor Millions being the backup, he finished in front of, sorry, let me just get this right. He finished just behind Falcon Strike on the 29th of May and comes in here treated well enough to certainly close that deficit, will Parlor Millions. So they're the 2 horses that I think are key in this race. Hard to knock a horse that won as well as he did last time in the former Falcon Strike. I think the combination of rating drop, being fitter on the back of a break, all assisted his chances, and there's no reason to sway off the scent of that horse. But then number 8 Parlor Millions comes into the picture as well, as I have repeated already. So those are the 2 horses that I'm most keen on, but like I mentioned, I'm keeping the scratching number 3 Alone Time in the place, so the favourite can run for me as well.
So there we go. The market just has it about spot on as far as Alistair is concerned, with the 2 market leaders being numbers 1 Peregrine Falcon and 4 Falcon Strike. So 2 options as far as the Falcons go. Race 6 on the card is the first leg of the final pick 3. It's a classified stakes, 2,400 metres, 14:40 is the off time. Again, we remind you there's an early start to this race, meaning a scratching that came through not too long before we recorded the show was number 2 Arctic Silver. That's a very important scratching, and that reduces the field down to 12. 1 or 2 other changes, yes or no? No other changes at this stage. So a quick look at the betting, and this is the revised betting. Number 4 Lava Lamp at 5-1, number 5 Damuva at 7-1, 6 Palmer Zealous at 8-1, 7 Cartagena 28-10, number 10 Rainy Season is at 4-1. So that's just a guide as far as the market is concerned, because this 2,400 metre race looks quite trappy, but maybe Alistair can help unpack and solve the riddle.
Graham, I'm pretty comfortable with the 4 horses I've got in. I'll be looking to connect a trifecta, or possibly go with some sort of quartet with the 4 horses that I've got in the play. The 1 horse that I've left out that I would throw into the quartet, let me start with her, number 12 Silver Flare. She's been on my radar for far too long now. She's got no weight to shoulder on the back of a a further decent run behind Teo Toriato, who came out and won subsequently just the other day. So she is the horse that I've not got in my jackpot that I wouldn't be prepared to leave out of trifectas and quartets. But I'm working around numbers 3, 4, 5, and 7 here, Graham. Let's go through it in order of numerical order. Number 3, Coffee Berry, had no right to be in the Gold Vase last time, was well defeated by King Pels. Beat stayers of far better quality than Coffee Berry, despite the landslide defeat that she suffered. She's gone from very high quality to a classified stay. It's got to be one of the biggest drops in classes I've seen this season. So from that point of view, number 3, Coffee Berry, who stays all day, got to be a horse that everyone wants to throw into the picture. Although her runs don't suggest that a winner's just around the corner, the fact that she's dropping in class, you'd kick yourself if you left her out. I think she'll run a big race. For Lava Lamp, beat Hopscotch. Hopscotch won again during the week. With that said, I'm not convinced that was a strong maiden. In fact, I know it wasn't a strong maiden that she won last time, but she also looks like she's going to stay all day. She's from a family. Work ethic was trained by Gavin Funzel, if I'm not mistaken. She went around the racecourse twice. She'll have the step up in distance, and she could progress to a reasonable filly, number 4, Lava Lamp, whereas everyone else in this race is well and truly established at the level that they're running in. Number 5, Demover, I'd motivate that she needed her last run and needed it badly. The further she goes, the better she is. A real trier, this daughter of Flower Alley. She's a rising 7-year-old. Joe Soma done a wonderful job with this daughter of Flower Alley. She's in my player. Number 7, Cartagena. Work out her, because she's completed a hat-trick of wins, but she's been stepping up as far as rating is concerned, and she achieved her career best in no uncertain terms last time out on the original course over this distance. Was if she grew an extra leg. On what I saw last time and the convincing nature of her victory, Graham, number 7, Cartagena, could again be the one that they all need to beat on the back of an £8 penalty. It looks like the handicapper's got his hands full with her. So those are the 4 horses in my jackpot one. 3, 4, 5, and 7, and I'm very comfortable that those are the horses that are going to be in and around the money.
Well, certainly Cartagena has fallen deeply in love with Cabello Mazzignani. He's ridden her to victory in the last 3 starts. The only 3 times he's been aboard, and yes, he's aboard again. So maybe the Cartagena Cabello Mazzignani love affair will continue into race 6 at the Vaal on Thursday the 24th. Race 7, the first leg of the final double. It's an MR64 handicap over 2,000 metres. 3:15 is the off time. Just one equipment change to hand. Number 7, Kiss of Fire, will race with the Cornell collar. Number 1, Sneak Previews at 22 to 10. Number 2, Hat Furious at 5 to 1. 3, Red Sparrow 11 to 2. 4, Crepusculo is at 13 to 2. 6, Circle Grace is at 9 to 2. So the betting kind of suggests a competitive race. Is this one where Gavin Lorena might strike on number 1, Sneak Preview?
I think she's a player, Graham, but sort of once bitten, twice shy with her. Hasn't won in 315 days. Look, Gavin and Lucky's record, I was chatting to Lucky during the week at Turfentine, and he said he'd like to know a combination that has a strike rate as good as Gavin and himself. And then he still cheekily said, I'd still choose Craig Zaki when he comes back from a suspension. But when they do team up, they are on fire. So that bodes well for number 1, Sneak Preview. The fact that she's favourite, Graham, tells you a story about this race. It is not that straightforward, but I think there are 2 very interesting horses to work around here. Number 4, Crepusculo. Disappointed to hear that he's as short as 13 to 2. I was hoping that we'd kind of get double figures about the son of New Predator. Back over 2,000 meters. This poor horse was used as a sacrificial lamb for long distance horses like Zeus to go and make pace, etc., etc. All sorts of pinnacle races. We had no right to be there. And since he's been running in handicaps, his rating's been dropping gradually, running in races over the wrong trips. The last time he tried 2,000 meters, he ran 5.5 lengths behind Solar Sail. And I'm expecting that this horse is going to run his best race in a while. Jason Gates takes the ride. He's retained by the owners. He's sponsored by the owners, Martin Botman, so you'll see him a lot on these colours. And I think that number 4, Crepusculo, is going to run his best race in a while. So he's the horse that I'm going to lean towards as my top choice. And then number 8, Caliburn. I do believe that 2,000 metres is right on the edge of his range. His last start, which came a week ago, he finished 4.5 lengths behind Phil the Fluter. But what I find interesting here, Graham, is that they've taken the blinkers off for the first time in a long time. And I think that's exactly what he needs. He comes out of draw 1 And I think the best version of Caliburn would be a dangerous version of Caliburn. A one-time winner from 37 starts tells you exactly why he's in a race of this nature. But he has matched it and mixed it with horses that are better than this and not been beaten too far. They experimented him over a mile and a half, which was crazy. They also went back to 1,400 metres, which was equally crazy. But I think this is the middle type of range where you'll see a nice run from number 8, Caliburn. So those are the two horses. Maybe a swinger play between numbers 4 and 8 could be in the offing. But I'm loath to leave out numbers 1, 3, and even number 5. They could all be horses that are effective.
So there you go, race 7, this low grade 64 handicap with an average merit rating of 58 over 2,000 metres. The outcome is certainly up for grabs. It's a trappy contest and there's some value to be had, as you heard there from Alistair. The 8th and final goes off nice and early at 15.50. It's a fillies and mares 66 handicap over 1,450 metres. Again, a very low-grade race, but it's interesting that the average merit rating is 64, so the weight spread is not that great. What can we tell you about card changes? Number 7, Count Your Chances to race without the blinkers. And the early market suggests that the 2-year-old daughter of Eric the Red, number 4, Red Amber, is going to prove a tough nut to crack. She's at 15-10. Gavin Larena teaming up with Fani Bronkhorst. Number 5, Ghostbuster, around 9-1. Number 6, Sheets and Goggles, 7-1. And number 9, Lady Loxton, who's now resident with James Crawford on the Highveld. Not a bad local debut after showing very indifferent form in the Western Cape when fourth behind Global Thunder. That's the second favourite at 7-2. So it is a low-grade fillies and mares handicap. Usually, Alistair, the kind of races that we say, well, that's what it stands for, F&M, Field and More. But can you narrow this down for us? Is number 4, Red Amber, a justified 15-10 favourite?
I'm prepared to say yes, Graham. I think the easiest way to work this race out is probably grade than your A list and your B list, because I'm not convinced there is a C list. I don't think half the field can win here. The A list is made up of number 4, Red Amber only, but it's one of those, if you look past her, who else could you make a case for? Red Amber could be a horse that's just better than this field. Gavin Larena takes her out. Little worried that she got turned over by Chieftain Shield. It took a long time to win a maiden last time, but the point is she gave Chieftain Shield a little bit of weight, and she's got reasonable enough form against 2-year-olds through that campaign, the likes of Tenjiku, who's feature raced, to suggest that number 4, Red Amber, could be in the right place. I do like taking my chances with rising 3-year-olds, but still 2-year-olds. At this time of year, in shallow company, they do tend to run good races. So she is the valuable starting point, and she is the one that they all need to beat. My B grade in this race is made up of numbers, let me just get them, 6, 9, and 11. Sheets and Goggles was caught to run over the weekend. He did not take her place. I think her urticaria was the reason for that. She sidestepped that for what looks like a more shallow race. Calvin Habib takes a ride. Not been beaten too far of late. All that is pretty self-explanatory. She goes from an apprentice to a professional jockey as well. I think that will help her chances. Number 6, Sheets and Goggles. Took her a long time to win. She was pretty average in the Western Cape. Struck early in Joburg and like I said, maintained a fair level of form. Now Lady Loxton would be in my A grade if she was drawn better, Graham. I thought her local debut was nice behind Global Thunder. She might have a little bit more to come with just her second run in town. She got penalised for being a loser, which I'm not a fan of, but I think she'll be better for the run. So for me, it kind of balances out. And then number 11, Can't Catch Me, hasn't won in 846 days. One-time winner from 50 starts, but it looks like she's hinting that a win is just around the corner, and this could be her best chance in a while, 53 kilos in a fillies and mares 66 race. So I expect number 11, Can't Catch Me, to go close if she doesn't win. And that's how I see the final race. The others, maybe number 1, Give Me a Storm, worth another chance on the back of a disappointing last run. Obviously, Ensuing came out to frank that form. She could be sort of the next best, and if anyone wants to include one other, she could be that one other.
So there we go, summary of race 8, in which Red Amber, the 2-year-old, could be a tough nut to crack. Now, Alistair's bet of choice, his suggested permutation for this meeting is Jackpot 1, which gets underway in race 4 at 13.26. But before I hand over to Alistair, if you're looking to play a pick 6, take his middle 4 legs, which he'll share with us now as being Jackpot 1. Perhaps take your chances with the 2-year-olds, Copper Eagle as a banker in the first leg of the pick 6, and Red Amber as a banker in the last. It's not going to increase the cost of the jackpot that Alistair's just about to go through, and it might give you a nice interest on the day. made up of 8 low-grade races, but, like I said earlier, there's money to be made, and the money could be made in Jackpot 1. Alistair, take us through it.
Yep, opportunities are plenty. Every day is an opportunity to make some money. So let's hope that it all works for us. And after your advice of the pick 6, Graham, I'm thinking that maybe that is the way to go. But anyway, the jackpot, which gets underway at 26 minutes past 1. 1, 2, 5, and 8 looking to beat the favourite there. Cosmic Queen, who I've got in, but don't think she's bulletproof. Cosmic Queen, Bosom Buddy, Kio Kaha, and Global Thunder. Secondly, I've got the scratching 3 alone time, and along with numbers 4 and 8 as backup, Falcon Strike and Parla Millions. Then 3, 4, 5, and 7, Coffee Berry Lava Lamp Demover and Cartagena. The one other would be number 12, Silver Flare, and finally 1, 4, and 8, Sneak Preview, Crepusculo, and Caliburn is a bit of an upset material.
So there we go. That's the suggested Jackpot 1 permutation. A reminder again, that's an 8-race card. Jackpot 1 starts with race 4. It's an early start to proceedings, so the first leg of the Jackpot goes at 13:26. Alistair, I look forward to seeing you right here at Hollywoodbets Greyville over the weekend for Super Sunday. Till then, stay well.
Cheers, Graham. You too. Looking forward to Sunday as well. It's going to be out the top draw.
It's going to be out the top draw, but it's going to be chilly, so bring out the winter woolies and join us at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Sunday the 27th of July. But in the meantime, enjoy this competitive race meeting at the Vaal.